only. Okay, it's my own class name. Okay, right. So you can click on what finish. There is a package in right in .NET IT. There is a class name my view resolver. Arrow finish. Yes, there is a class. So here I am going to develop some few variables and all. Okay. Now I want to create this class. I want to create the object to this class. Then what? At the rate component annotation, right?
Yes.
So at the rate component annotation, like brace, I want to provide some name. My view. My object name is what? My view. Okay. Here I want to create the few variables. Private string, some location. Private string, some extension, something. Extension. Okay. My location and my extension. So I have to annotate it with what? At the rate value annotation. At the rate value. At the rate value annotation. Double quotes. Dollar. What is that? Open and closing brace. Similar to for this variable also. Okay. So after that, what I'm going to do, I want to see my response as understandable format. Then you should override that to string method here. Source, where it is generate to string method. Okay. For, okay, these two fields. Okay. Location extension, generate. Okay. Right. That's it. Okay. Now you can come to this properties file. Okay. My dot loc, that is location. Okay. So you can provide whatever the location. Okay. Suppose I'm providing some INF folder. INF folder. And my dot, sorry, my dot, what is that? Extension, some HTML. Okay, right. So this is what my properties case with values. My dot loc, my dot ext. Okay, my dot loc, you can add it. And my dot ext, you can add here. Ext for what? Extension. Okay, dot allowed in the properties file. Yes, it is allowed, right? So in the previous session we discussed it. Okay, no? Right. So my resolver class is done and my properties file is done, and I'm going to my starter class here. Okay, this is what my starter class. Okay, here, okay, here I'm going to write something. Okay, so here I'm going to write something. See, yeah, my location, my ext extension. Yeah, those are the keys, na? Keys. See, these are not predefined, user defined only. My dot loc is what? My location. My dot txt what? My extension. Clear? Sambasivar. Hello. Are you okay? Those are keys here in the properties file. So we are going to get these values, info folder, HTML. These values I'm going to print on our console. Okay, right. So resolver class is over and the properties file is over, and coming to my starter class. So in the starter class, what is the container? Application context container. Application context container. Some context equal to Control Shift O. That is the shortcut to, to get the respect to packages. Okay, right. So that's all about it. So here I created my resolver class now. View resolver. My view resolver. Okay, some object I'm going to create. Some context dot. What is that? Context is what? Object name. Okay, so always context. Okay, why not others? See, guys, that is our day. Like this is the reference. Okay, that is created by ourselves. Yeah. Okay, not context. Even you can use AC. AC simple shortcut is what application context. Okay, what method is recommended here? Get bean method. Okay, the get bean method. What you are going to pass here? What you are going to pass here? One is my object name. Whatever the object you have, that object name. Comma, the view resolver class file here. We can pass as an argument. Clear? Right? Now, finally, what you can do? You can print the result. System.out.println. What is that? OB. So now it is fine. It is fine. Okay. Everything is clear. Guys, in the my view resolver class, do you have any doubt? Please let me know. Please let me know. Interaction is important here. Interaction is important. Can you respond? Do you have any queries in this class? Any doubt? Out of 61 students, responding 4 students are. Come on here. Class, okay. Sir, without the key values, not possible to write the application. You can write, you already shown, right? Without key. See, that means you are not using the properties file. So in generally, I want to print welcome to Naresh IT. Have you done in the earlier? Yes, now. See, let me show here, yeah. The first application. You can cross check the properties. Well, nothing is there. This is by default, it will come while creating the application, right? So, but here the main method, see what you mentioned. Just I written what welcome to Naresh IT. Yes or no? That is what very basic application. That's all about it. Okay. Right in the third application, in the get bean, we generally pass that object, right? Why you have to pass that class name as well? Yeah, in Spring Boot, we are passing here the respect to class name. The run method you are, oh, get bin, right? Okay, in the get bin, you are passing what? Get bin purpose is what? It is going to creating the object with the help of for the container object. Can you read out get bin method? See, here get bin, 2 arguments. Here expecting, right? String, some class is what? Required type. What type? The class type. What type? What is the class? Whatever the class, that object is there, whatever the object is passing, that object type is required. That object type, like that class type, What is that class here? Come to the code, sorry. Come to the code. This object is representing what? This class, na? Can you go for the my view resolver? What is the object name? In the my view resolver. Okay, that's what we are using. What the respective class type as per, because that get bin method is not user defined here. That is predefined. So that get-bean method is expecting what? One is the string type argument. That two, we are passing what? Object. The second one is what? The class type. That object is belongs to my view resolver class. That's what. Clear? Return an instance which may be shared that independent. Okay. Right. I hope you got the clarity. Whoever asked that question, Challa Mahesh Babu. Okay. Clear? Right. Okay. Right, guys. Okay. So coming to the properties file, there is nothing here. In the properties file, it is supporting line number 2 or 1 all. That is dot is allowing. Dash, that is hyphen, it is allowing. Underscore is also allowing. So that is what intentionally I use my dot to loc. That is location. My dot to location. INF folder. Just so it is not representing any INF folder in our project structure here. Okay. Name I mentioned, that's it. That extension like what HTML. For our like a future example development, okay, I am giving some heads up on that. Okay, some locations, some like what is that file type, file size and all. It is going to maybe in the coming classes might be, or maybe you can able to download that applications, what is the required and all. So finally, these are the keys and values. There is nothing here apart from that. Okay, next one. Any doubt in the properties file? Can you confirm? I'm waiting for your response here. I know you are in the festival mode. Okay, at least some time we can focus on our class here. Okay? Right. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. So coming to the starter class. In the starter class, to make our class as a Spring Boot configuration class, you should be annotated with what? At the rate Spring Boot application, main method, container. We create the reference. We are using what? Spring application run method. Okay, that run method we are overriding. Then my view resolver, we created the one reference that AC, that is container object dot get bean of. We are passing what? Our class object in the form of string format. Okay. And our class, that is this object is belongs to this class. That is what. Just you can print what? This obj. So finally, it will print. The output is what? My resolver location is equal to what? Whatever the location you provided, INF hyphen folder. That extension, whatever you provide, like what HTML, it is going to print like that. Okay, let me run this application. Let me run this application. See, what is the output here? My view resolver, where it came from the toString method. Location equal to what? INF folder. Extension equal to what? HTML. Are you clear? This output, that application. Confirm here. You are so busy here. Okay, right. Here, there is some interview questions will cover. Okay, right. From this application. So, question number one. So, what if we did not provide that at the rate value annotation on the variable? What if did not provide at the rate value annotation on variable? What will happen? Okay, let me show the practically. Suppose, what is the default value for a string? Anyone, can you tell me? What is the default value to this string? Okay. You Googled up, so that's what you took much time. Okay, right. Let me run my application now. Let me run my application. What is that? Null. Null. It means what? If you are not to provide if you are not to provide at the rate value annotation on top of what? Variables. So then what will take? What will take here? It's default values, right? Default values. It will be taken. That is what? That is for int, what is the default value? 0, right? For a double, default value is what? 0 0.0. 0 0.0. Okay. So for a string, what is the default value? String type default value is what? Null, etc. This is what one of the entire question. Okay. Next one. We wrote that at the rate value annotation on the top of the variable, but key is not present. Then what will happen? What is the question? Question is what? Question is what? We wrote at the rate value annotation on the variable. Okay, but what? Key is not present. Key is not present. Then what will happen? Then what will happen? Then what will happen? Anyone? Okay, come to the application. I'm going to change my key, my.loc1, my.ext1. Okay, but in our application, you are using what? Directly my.loc, my.extension. Okay, ext. Okay, there in the properties file, my.loc.1, my.ext.1. But in your Java class, that key mentioned like what? My.loc, my.ext. It means the key is not present. Then what? Then what will happen? Check it out. We are getting what? Some exception. We are getting what? Some exception. What is that exception? At application, error starting the application context to display the condition evaluation. Okay, so report rerun that application like a debug enable something. That's okay. Now that error, okay, application run failed. What will happen? The exception will happen. Bean creation exception happened. That error is what? That error is what? Can you read out? Error creating bean with the name my view, that object name. Okay. injection of the auto-wide dependencies are what? Failed. So wherever you want to inject the values that respective keys are not present in that application. That's why we are getting what? We are getting what? Exception. We are getting what? Exception. Okay, right. Let me write the answer. If one key is not read, or maybe not read. Okay, let me write. If key is not present, this is the correct one. Is not present, then what? If the key is not present in what? In the properties file. In the properties file. Okay. And trying to read and trying to read using what? At the rate value annotation. At the rate value annotation. Then what will happen? Then exception will what? Exception will occur. Right? That exception name called what? This is what the exception. Exception will be occur. That is what? org.springframework.beans.factory.what? Bean creation exception. Bean creation exception happened. Okay, now, right? Okay. Next one. Guys, are you following? Are you following? Okay. So, one more question. See, in the properties file, the same key existing multiple times. Okay. Can we define the same key multiple times with the different values in the properties file? Can we define? Here HTML, here my extension is CSS, here is what? JS. Okay, right. So same key, my.ext. Okay, then what will happen? Okay, let me run this application. Actually, earlier, what is the output you got it for the extension initially? HTML. But now, the same key, but different values. HTML, CSS, JavaScript. Okay, if you run this application, then what is the output? So we can't get any error, but extension is what? JS. It means what? The last one, that is the latest one. Whatever you have, it will be taking. Getting my point? Okay, let me write the question and answer. I'm going to write the question like what? So can we define same key multiple times with different values in the properties file. Can we define? Basically, answer is what? Yes or no? Can you tell me? I already shown. See here. You can provide na. Yeah. What you are listening? So answer is what? Yes, we can. But it is not recommended. Clear? It is not recommended. If we write, if you write he duplicates, then what? The last combination is taken into the application. Clear? Yes or no? The last one. See, that is what we saw in the output, right? What is the extension? JS. What is the JS? JS position is what? The last. Are you okay? Okay. The next question I'm going to cover. Very, very important here. Listen, at least. Okay. So, actually, who will load the properties file? See, in Spring, if you are observed, in the Spring, if you are observed in the Spring, what annotation you used to load the properties file? Can you tell me? No idea. We already covered. What is the annotation to load the properties file? Excellent, Mahesh. That is what? Property source. Responded only Mahesh out of 60 students. Come on here. Come on. Okay, right. Who will load the properties file in Spring Boot application? Who will read? Who will read? Simple. In Spring level, we have to use @property source. But in Spring Boot, am I using that property source anywhere in my application? This is the application file, application.properties file. This is what my view resolver class. Okay. Here I didn't use that property source, even my starter class also. I didn't use property source annotation. But how we are getting that property file into our application? Simple. Here the starter class, there is annotation called what? Spring Boot application annotation. We load that file by using what? The property source annotation. Internally, it will be taken. So no need to write explicitly as Spring. Getting my point? Okay, no need to write explicitly. So the Spring Boot will be taken care. The Spring Boot will be taken care. Okay, answer. We will load. Here, starter class. Okay, starter class. Here in starter class. Starter class. Then what? Spring Boot application annotation is there, right? Spring Boot application annotation will load the file by using what? By using code like this. How it is going to load? like at the rate property source. Property source. Internally, it is following what? It is following what? Double quotes, class path, colon, application dot what? Properties file. This is what the internally the code will be happened. That too, that at the rate start in the Spring Boot application annotation will be taken care. So that means, okay, no need to writing this line in our Spring Boot application. In our Spring Boot application. Clear? Okay. Right? Right. So one more question. Can you replace, like, instead of that application dot properties file, can you write your own name like abcd dot properties? Yes. Yes, we can. But the Spring Boot will not detect automatically. The Spring Boot will not detect automatically. Okay, let me show the practically. What is that? Refactor. That application dot properties instead of Naresh IT dot properties file. Okay. Then let me run my application. Yeah. Let me run my application. What? Some exception getting. Why? See, that file is not available now. That org Spring Boot, Spring Framework.beans.factory.bean creation, something error. What is that error? What is that error? What is that error here? Error, right? Creating bean with what? My view, that injection something, afterward that dependencies is what that failed. Okay, because of that file is not available here. That application or properties file is not available. That is there is other properties file like what Naresh IT dot properties file. So you should not. Yes or no? Okay. It will not detect. Then what you can do? You have to use what? You have to use what? Directly what? You can use at the rate property source. What is the solution here? You can use at the rate property source. What is that? In double quotes what? Class path colon. What is that? Naresh ID dot what? Properties. This is what. Let me run this one. Getting? Yes or no? Output is coming or not? Hello guys. Are you clear? Right. Okay. Let me write that question and answer over here. So then what? Can we define file with any other name? File is what? Properties file here. Okay. Any other name for what? Application dot properties file. Answer is what? Yes or no? Answer is what? Yes. But Spring Boot Spring Boot will not detect. So you should write manual loading. Manual, correct spelling? Manual loading. Manual loading. Right? So we done. So that's all about it for today's session. Most of the guys are in offline. It means they are presented, but the people is not responding. What if you have the multiple properties files? Yes, I will cover in the coming classes. Don't worry, Mahesh. Yes, we are able to create multiple properties files. Okay, right. We will cover in the coming classes. Don't worry. Because so there is less attendance. Okay, that is what. So that's all about it, guys. Okay, if you have any queries, please let me know. Otherwise, we are wind up the session for today. All good. I will share the notes. Don't worry. Okay. Right. I hope you don't have any queries on that. We have the class tomorrow also, the same time. Please join. Okay. Yeah. So please join the class here. Okay. Right. In time we can join. Thank you. Thank you, one and all. If you have any doubt, please let me know. If you don't have, you can drop off. Thank you. Thank you, one and all. We'll see you tomorrow and bye. The same link you can use.